Namaste, Jai Bharat. The Mediterranean situation is going intensely troublesome. Uh, One narrative that I come across is that all these were actually planned and thought out by America, Trump in particular. And another narrative which comes across is that, which is coming across is that, as per the evolving scenario, America plays both. In both narratives, I've seen people pinpointing America, Trump, and their capital letters foul play to their own advantages. Let's get into kind of flashback. From Bharat, INS Second, one of our battleships, was sailing to Greece for a joint defense naval exercise with the Hellenistic army of Greece. And suddenly, Turkey wanted to block the movement of INS Second. Actually, Mediterranean is international waters where nobody is supposed to have any authority or no one is the boss supposed to be. But Turkey, real Turkey, had really been thinking that's their property. Whatever happens in Mediterranean should be at the wish or at least sanction of Turkey. They had been thinking, they had been acting, they had been feeling so, and they had been projecting things so. They have some hidden programs in it. They have some hidden routes for their battleships to go out and come into. Oh, no, all those things are there. Hidden routes unknown to the rest of the people. So the point is that they wanted to control Mediterranean. Now, the second narrative I'm talking about, America wanted to control Mediterranean. So America, as usual, always puts their gun, on the shoulder of European Union and fires, so that European Union stands in front. Like the Islamic terrorists, they use their weapons, making the women, children stand in front and fire from behind, so that when the counter fire comes, the women and children get affected, and then they start making narrative and start playing the victim card that their women and children, not their women, that women and children were killed by these, etc., etc., whatever, etc. So, America always plays like that. And European Union, by and large, are helpless because of conventional, traditional bondages, which I don't think they will continue to uh, submit for a longer time. Now itself, they don't totally submit to America, but then it will only increase in the future. Now, in this situation, America actually wanted to control the Mediterranean. The Mediterranean, America wanted to control. So, the previous narrative, first narrative is that America instigated Turkey to act this manner, which could be indirectly correct, that I feel. But Turkey was always against Bharat because they wanted to be pro-Islamic. To what extent they can really be pro-Islamic is a question to be asked, because they are pro-Islamic, they pretend to be pro-Islamic because they wanted to become the global leader for the Islamics, because at once upon a time they had the concept of Khalifa, and the Caliphate all stories. So they wanted to become an authority in the Islamic world, which of course Saudi contradicts Saudi Arabia's supremacy among the Islamic world. Now that of course it's not a direct concern of anyone else. So because of this, Turkey wanted to assume an important role for the Muslim nation. So whenever there is an opportunity, they will pretend and show they are with the Islamic world. That's how they started supporting Pakistan, in spite of the fact that the people of Turkey had great relations with the people of Bharat in history, historically. So All these things they did because of that. So what happens is Turkey sends their vessels, some 7 or 17, I am not remembering correctly. So much of their naval vessels was sent to rather block our Trikand, and then another 3 or 4 battleships which were following the movement towards Greece. And but we have used electronic warfare, in the sense digital warfare, details no one knows, and the digital platforms of Turkey got jammed or ceased to obey their commands. So they got confused. At this juncture, in the fury, Turkey should have realized this, because when they send their own drones and the people against Bharat to Pakistan during Operation Sindoor, they have faced similar situation. They should have realized, they should have thought that something else will come up in this manner. But they again did the same mistake. And this time they were infuriated because they could not do anything to Bharat Navy. And some of their battleships are uh, directly, indirectly in our control, because those ships were not able to receive any directions and orders from Turkey. They could only contact Bharatiya vessels. Some situations happen to exist in Mediterranean. Now, in the meantime, Bharat continued sailing to Greece, and as I understand, the uh, Hellenistic army and Hellenistic navy and Bharatiya Nausena, their exercise they began. So, and then next it's going to be with Cyprus. Now, these two are also again strategic, because these two nations are swords drawn with Turkey. That is a different kind of strategy. So, in the meantime, Turkey is a member of NATO. So, Turkey approaches NATO that we have been attacked. So, you are supposed to come to their help. So, NATO sends their fleet. I don't, at some 40 or 50 or something like that of their vessels were moving. And then NATO took a stand, NATO took a position that, look, Bharat has not violated any international norms. So we will be neutral. We cannot just go against Bharat, because Bharat has not violated any international norms. They are in international waters, they are sailing their direction. They have their distinct purpose, which is intelligible to us. So we cannot object or obstruct Bharat. And at the same time, we cannot support you against Bharat. So this position NATO initially took. At this juncture, we find Trump jumping in, because his ultimate aim is to make everyone under his control, make everything under his control, and this kind of eagerness and greed, I would call this kind of greed, actually is destroying him. Destroying him is one thing; it's only a person, but destroying his nation's coexistence of the multiple and plural kind of people living there, and his nation's friendliness with others. Now everybody turns their back part to US. That's what is happening. So Trump jumps in and makes NATO say that you can't say that. You should take control of Mediterranean Sea. Now this is a very significant point. Mediterranean Sea, which is international waters, is supposed to be not under anyone's direct control or domination or bullying. That's what America wanted. So NATO now changes their attitude, and they say that we will control Mediterranean, not Turkey. So Turkey has lost their game right in the beginning by inviting NATO. Turkey wanted to dominate, because Turkey had made some secret operations, secret plans, and so many secret kind of electronic systems to monitor and control the entire Mediterranean, and they were comfortably sitting under the belief that they will be controlling Mediterranean, and no one can do anything in Mediterranean without Turkey's knowledge. So that was Turkey was thinking. Now, This situation took place. NATO comes and takes power, and when NATO comes, this time it's obviously that America wanted to control. So what happened is now NATO sent there so many seaborne vessels, and they have blocked the entire Mediterranean. Now the situation is so that no one can enter Mediterranean and no one can exit Mediterranean without NATO's permission. Now look at the situation. This miserable situation was created by Trump in his utter greed to control and own up everything. Look at this situation where things are going. Already, America has problem. They have difficulties. They are they are troubled, and they have internal problems. They continue creating these things. Now, this is the situation in Mediterranean. Initially, it was just a skirmish upon the ego and the false consciousness Turkey was carrying upon the head like an iron rod. This was initially between Turkey and Bharat, and but Turkey behaved as they behaved in Operation Sindhu, playing from behind against Bharat. Initially, it was that, but worsened it. They worsened it, and they invaded others. Now things are out of their hand. Turkey is out, and NATO was brought in, and through NATO, America wants to play by putting the guns on the shoulders of European Union and NATO, and America also member of NATO. And this is what is happening. Look at this situation. This is what should be called as this cook makes a mess of every dish he tries to make. Now you have to sympathize with him. We don't know what's going to be. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri.